getting raided by large clans that seem to have endless rockets? Fortunately for you, I have your solution. This is a medium group clan base that's vital ready. I call it the Atlas. As we walk in right here, you can see that there's two wood roofs creating an airlock, so people can't get in or out. There's a Patrico facing gate, turret right above your tentacle. This is a false TC so that you can see outwards on both sides so that people can't raid your false TC. As you look outwards, there's a Patrico onto your bed so that people can't rocket your bed and kill you from in here. Patrico is facing outwards. A conditional peak turret for turret coverage. And then here's your Patrico facing the gate, and there's more facing outwards. You walk in, there's more bed space, and then this is where the waterfall is. And then there's more Patricos facing into the China wall. More bed space in China wall tower. One way to next floor. Two more one ways to the next floors. And then there's a one way facing all of China wall so that you have all coverage for all of China wall. Patrico is facing outwards. A door peak. Two door peaks. And then ankle biters. We walk in right here. Patrico for more coverage. And then this is the entrance. With a partial Patrico facing outwards. One way straight to door at your entrance. Battery spaces, two of them. And then another one way facing so that you have 360-degree coverage. We walk in and it's similar to the meat core. Face outward. One way to next door. This is your mini for working with it. Some tables in each bar. Heavy boxes. You have more box space. You move up into one ways. More bed spaces. And shell beams. Turret facing down in shell beams. And then here's your early game. Waterfall with a ladder to get right back up. Jump ups right there. Another waterfall. And we'll move back in here. Jump up to mixing in. And then this is where open floor is. one way is facing all the way outwards to every side of shooting floor. And then there's another one over there that's kind of hard to reach. More bed spaces for Trico. Space for boxes for kids. The Trico facing your doorway. Ankle biter facing down. And then this is for the waterfall. The Trico, and then a partial waterfall. So that you have 360-degree angles to roof. The Trico facing inwards so that people can't take your roof. Locker spaces. Then a jump up with a Trico facing outwards, conditional peak, and an ankle biter. Space for vending machines and your exit. And then there's the Tricos right here. Turret space right there. And then there's an area right here so that you can do boxes. And then here's your Susu towers. And then here's your jump down to the waterfall. Peeks into China wall. Peeks into outside of China wall. And then jump. This waterfall also leads to China wall and Halo room. Step 1 is building the starter. Displacing a square and a triangle, and I always do this on cobblestone so it's easier to see. Right here is for TC. Let me find it. So this one, door, window, door. And I always start from here with the circle. And here's how I remember to do this. I always go here, 1 square, 2 square, place your frame, and then place your walls ceiling it in. Now for this, it's simple, it's similar to the meat core. We're just gonna do 2 windows right here, seal that in, and then roofs. And then turn it into the Tricos and then seal the roofs. Going in, you want to put frames into the path leading in. And then right across from your entrance, you're going to do your jump up. And then over here, I always turn this into a loop room. And then you can put battery right there or whatever you want there. And then just sealing the roof. And then you can put 4 boxes here. You can put as many, or you can put 3 on top, 3 on bottom, 3 on bottom right here, 4 boxes down here. So you have a lot of loot space down there. Make sure the roof is fully sealed in. And then you're going to want to seal that in. And then place this roof right here. But make sure that you seal in this roof. Do that. Don't ever seal in this part because this is, again, I'm going to open before. There will be a door frame right here leading to the furnaces. Our next step of the build is move up. This is going to be mini open core in the floor after these inner peaks. Frame right here. Side, and this will be your furnace area. And because I'm on the build server, I'm going to be using two-side symmetry. Make sure to follow along. Make sure you place half of it right here, half of it right here, half of it right here, and this is for your one ways. And then I like to do right here, but that's preference. You could also seal them in. Make sure you place your boxes first, all three of them right here, before you place the... Now right here, you can either place a frame or you don't have to. I like to place a frame in case somebody raids and I don't want them to leave. And then we can place our windows. This is also optional. You could either surround this with or you could seal it partially off, which is what I prefer to do, so that you can put it on the side and not have to worry about the other. For the next part, we start at this doorway. This is going to be basement and shell piece. Surround this with triangles. We're going to be on three-side symmetry almost this whole time. As we move out, you're going to want to put half right here. For one minute. You're going to want to seal this in straight to the left of the doorway. And then straight to the right of the doorway. Battery pieces. This part needs to be facing, the one ways need to be facing this entrance. Make sure you don't put a frame like I just did, but put a doorway. And then we'll put a frame right there. And then you're going to want to seal this with frames. And then you can put beds or lockers or whatever you want in here. You're going to want to seal this button. I think it's uglier like this, so I always face this out. So make sure you seal this part in. That's where your batteries will go. But right here, where it's sealed in on the bottom, you want to put a window right here. The floor, so you can make a jump up. And that will be your jump up. do is right here. And then wherever the entrance is, which is right here, you're going to want to make sure you do this first so you can see but you need that'll be your jump downs. And then I like to do this to shipping container so it's easy to build around. Actually, don't put this thing there so that you can place bed. Unless you want more box space right there. This right here, you can see the doorways right here. So you want to put your frames. I like to face that inward so it's also good. Place this the other way though. You can put a locker or a battery. And then the easiest way to memorize this is to go outside. Right on this doorway, there's going to be a square right in front of it. Continue with the square. So now that you have this, where this circle is, you're going to want to put entrance. And then you could do a battery right here, but I prefer to have it on the ground. Make sure you see this little area. And make sure you have door frames everywhere. You're going to want to full wall right here. Don't do that. Make sure you do this on the end. And so this whole entire area. Make sure you face this outwards so that it works well. And then this is going to be another entrance. This will be half walls right here. Doorway. Seal that in. Now that we're at this stage, this will be your peak downs, which it's going to be tricky to place on the outside. Shipping container, just so that it's easier to place on the shipping container. And that's why I said put a full wall there. This a half row. And then I prefer to make this a whole wall, even though it may be from above. But it will help with stability and placing your peaks on shooting floor. And seal the top of that in. Also make sure you put this up to the walls. So now you're fully surrounded, and you have protection from your future open core. Then last part to this step of the base, build your turret spot right here. This is going to be your mixing room, which I like to do on 2-side symmetry, so it's seal this side in, seal these corners in. I prefer to have them face inward, just for better looks. Room for one box on top, one box on the bottom, and a small box on each side. Now that you have that, head on to your next floor. Then you can also these 2 sides out. Just those 2 sides for now, because later on you're going to need a window, and I don't know exactly which side it's on right now. And now we're on open core. So we're going to switch to 3-side symmetry. So then I'm going to move to this side so that I can see. This is where the runway will face. Jump up will be right here. And then the first one. Seal that in and head up. So now I'm going to turn this to 2-side because I like to do this. You don't have to do this nice little extra thing for you. Face that inwards. And you can put 4 boxes down there. Now that we're over here, this up. And make sure it's built up on all 3 sides. And this will be your first triple loot ring. I said triple, but I and then what we're going to do right here, place that, seal that in, and then your frame will go right there. Seal this in. Make sure you seal that in, and this will jump up to monkey open. And then last step, seal this part in. And then seal this to the roof. And there is your open floor. Now that you're on your monkey core, you're going to want to build up but first make sure all of your honeycomb is right there. Because this is confusing. As we're building jump up, you need to make sure that there's a half wall right here and a window right there. Half wall right here, window right here. And then you want to put 2 half walls, half wall right here. Your thing for the jump up to the next floor. You want to put windows right here, and then make sure that you put the window right here. Make sure you go right. So now you have your peek outs. So you can start building your monkey. This will be your first step in monkey. And this will be the other root room in monkey core. And then right in front of this, right in front of the door, put your window, and then frames for more doors. Seal in roof, seal on that part, and then make sure that everything's hard side so that you can't just get into opening core. So now that we're done with monkey core, you're going to want to place that wall right there. Keep this part open. That'll be your one way right there. And then you have to prepare into the doorways. Next step. Before we get to that, the next step is to make your exit to your shooting floor. And then I believe this is your bedroom will get. Seal this part in, and that's one of your one-ways. Make sure your loot room can be covered by that. And the next step is right here, seal that in. Or no, don't seal that in. You're gonna want facing in there. So you have your Patrica to your doorway. Now that you have this doorway, place your window right there. Place this. More one-ways to next one. and start sealing your roof. Now we can move, as long as everything's has frames and petricos and stuff, we can move on to the next floor. Right here. And now it's the same on this side as the floor below. Make sure that your petrico can see. And then back to 3-side symmetry. We're going to put a doorway. And then right here are peek outs. They're conditional. Now I would place this personal, but you don't have to. You can also place a doorway, but I don't prefer to. Upgrade that to metal so that you can place your walker whenever you need to. Then start sewing the right here. Now that we're on this part, for vending machines, the roof right here. Just a petrico. And don't do what I did and make sure you do it on all 3 sides. So now that we have shooting floor done, or not shooting floor, roof, we're going to start building this part up. Make sure everything's backwards all the way up. Make sure you do that on all 6 sides. Build that up until you get to there. Then on each side of this, you're going to want half this. Then for open core. So since we're right here, we'll start building it from the actual roof part. Build your half wall right there. And then right there. This all the way around. And then this is where you need to pay attention to if you built it right. Because the full wall right here should be so that petrico in, and then this should be and then with this, since we don't have the same stuff, I like to put that right there. And then we'll go same way we did it on that side. Trick it on this side. Here's your donkey. And there you have your shooting floor. For this next step of the build, make sure you follow along closely because there's a seawall, and it can be pretty easy to mess up. You don't have to do seawall at this stage of the build, but I highly recommend it. So if you have more within the build, I just put these really small on the waterfalls. And then this next part, I want to be follow along closely, especially on this part, because it gets very tricky. Make sure you put a triangle on each side right here. And make sure it faces the outside of the base. 2 triangles. And then seal that in. Bring it back inward. And then you can start doing your peaks like that. Towards a make sure this is facing outward so that you can see the back of your fingers. Tour, I didn't do this, but you can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to do that. And right here, the roofs, walk the turret from the shop. And then I so that people think that it's TC. Turret will go right above here. So right here. And make sure that you do that as well. And then you're going to want to surround this. Make everything an even height. For the waterfall, you're going to start up here. Make sure you're building out of metal, unless you don't have enough materials for it. And once again, make sure you do this on the floor 6 times. Right here will be our first peaks in the waterfalls. back spike. Make sure you put a square frame right here. And make sure you keep putting square frames so that you don't accidentally seal this in. Because that's very important. Be a place for your locker. Seal this part in. Put your ramp right there. And then the trick is check it out. And there's your turret space. And your waterfall should look like this. Now that we have the waterfall, build a triangle on each side. And then make that go inwards. So that part of China Wall should look like that. So now that we're on this part, place both of these. And might that's how it's supposed to go. So now that we have that circle, we're going to place a square off that circle. Now that we have all that done, we're going to cover this with wood. And that's what your footprint should look like. So now that we're done with the footprint, we can start heading into the actual base. We're going to try this first. And these will be the towers for our facility and access to the space. Seal that whole floor in. Make sure it has frames in it. This whole area needs to be sealed in. Don't fully surround it. And then this to the next floor in case somebody tries to. Seal this in. Make sure you place that holes right there. All your frames like I didn't do. And that's the first part of your China wall. So now we're going to move on to this. floor's high though. Make sure that's sealed in. This will be the entrance to your base. Fully seal that in. Start honeycombing. Walls and windows right there. And then make sure you put roofs right there. And then do windows. Continue sealing this income. Facing downwards. I like to use other so drop down easily. So now that we're on this way, you can start. Facing outwards. And then we can start more. Make sure you don't add too many frames, just so that it doesn't look ugly. But if you really want to, building up Halo Ring. Before we do Halo Ring though, there's one more part of this. You have to add these fob to not be able to see your feet. For the final few steps of this build, we're going to want to go down here. Make sure you save most of the stuff on the channel. Then you want to build up these frames. But once you build up channel, this square, you're going to want to have a half wall. Then full walls are make sure you do that on 6 sides, which I didn't do. looks like this, you can move on to your waterfalls. Build up until you can go into windows. To your area. Put a door frame here. Halfway down here. Now that you have that, make this into a trigger. Make sure you get that out good so it doesn't affect build. And then I like to seal this off. You don't need to have it sealed off, but it just creates extra rockets for you. So now that we're on this stage of the build, we can make this into a window. Make these into windows on the side. We're going to want to jump down to general, seal that part in. I prefer to upgrade this to shipping container. It's not needed to upgrade it to shipping container though. And then you have your conditioner. And now turn this into a controller. And before you build the suits up, of course, place your grills. I accidentally did them in wood. And then you can start building up your suits. As we're building the suits up, make sure to keep putting these frames for your hatches. You want to put a frame right here, so that you can see to the outside with the head glitch. And you're gonna keep building this up until you get right here. And put an actual floor that in. Make sure you have a doorway. And then from here, same thing on the other side. And then that's what that half floor was for. So you can go ahead and set your windows, which will just be windows and nothing else. From right here, and right the peak side. I meant to put quarter walls. Make sure you put quarter walls there, so that you can have your windmills. Make sure you place your windows in the center part. And then you can put barricades right here so people don't get out. And then what I like to do is put this over here for an extra turret spot in case you need it. Or you can put boxes there. And then right above it, a little window area so that you can see out. For your SAM site, which may be what it is. You will have to use the SAM sites like this first and then delete all these. Then put full walls there. Half wall, window, your turret spawn, which can see pretty much all of the roof. And that'll be your peak to top of Susu Towers. And then your quarter walls. And here's your fully suited out vital base. For the last and final step of the base build, we're going to be doing the compound, which I'm going to face directly west because I built on a compass line. And I'll place that right there. And then make sure you build this out of wood so that in case the compound gets broken, you can still replace it. The compound is a little bit weird because of how you have to place it. Make sure that you place it around that angle, like that. If you enjoyed this base, please think of liking and subscribing, as this base did take a lot of time to build, and then the video took even more time to edit. Thank you for watching, and please be here for the next video.